The Z to Z Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Z to Z Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Fream, and thank you so much for listening. At Z to Z, we love gaming, and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. It's about achievements, we'll unlock it. You can find show notes for this show, as well as previous shows, on our website, z2z.com. This is episode 147. You can also contact us with questions or comments on Twitter, at Z2Z, Z-E-D-T-O-Z-E-D, or at our forums, forum.z2z.com, or email us directly, contact@z2z.com. Well, we got him. It's a week late, but he is here. Let's start with Proulx. Of course he is here. Proulx, how are you doing?
I was going to say, I'm not a week late. I was here last week for you.
Were you, though? Were you?
I tried to be, anyways.
Well, you got in arguments with me is what you did.
Well, I won arguments with you. Yes, certainly.
No, that's not who I was referring to. It is Doughboyee. How are you doing, Dave?
I'm doing great. Great to be back. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. And this is a big week for you. You got a lot of stuff going on. I thought maybe you're trying to get your sleep in now so that you're ready for this weekend.
I'm hoping that my sleep doesn't catch up to me on that night either, so yeah.
That'll be tough. So that is, of course, we're talking about Extra Life. Extra Life comes up this weekend on, November 3rd? Is that technically the day or 2nd?
Nope, it is November 3rd through the
3rd.
4th. Yep, 8 a.m. November 3rd. Roll out of bed, start playing games, and don't stop until the next morning. Which,
because of daylight savings, is 25 hours of gaming.
Yep.
And of course, we're having Dave on. That's for one reason, and he's a great friend of the community and has been very active with us. But also, this is kind of like a call to action for you. Because you've been pounding the drum with other shows, with posting in our Discord. So if you're not over there, discord.io/Z2Z. About getting people uniting together as a team. Is that still kind of a bit of your focus here? Is to get as many people involved as you can?
That is still the main focus, absolutely. So yeah, like you said, we've got actually it started out as 2 podcasts, 3 podcasts. We're now up to 4 podcasts that are all going in together on this. So we've got a team called the Gaming Podcast Communities United. It's really short, I had to pick something really, really short and
right?
easy to roll off the tongue there. But basically, it is you guys, the Z to Z podcasts, Real Gamerscore podcast, Achievement Hunting 101, and now joining us, the Cross Atlantic Gaming podcast. So these are all podcasts that are related to video games in general. A lot of them, obviously, achievements, and we all wanted to get together as opposed to trying to separate ourselves and say that I'm a fan of this one or this one or this one. We kind of all crossed paths all from time to time.
Right.
So what better way to show our support for each other than to get together and show support for sick kids? So we now have a team on Extra Life. If anyone would like to join that, I know it's last minute for some people that haven't been on the forums and read about it or on the Discord. But it is available to jump on there, join the team, and start raising some funds for the children's hospitals.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Like I love Extra Life. I think it's such a cool program, and they do such a wonderful job of bringing awareness to the Children's Miracle Network. And now, that being said, yes, it is late in terms of it's this weekend is the day.
Yes,
but of course you can donate throughout the entire year. I mean, that's right. That you can go all the way up till is it December 31st?
It is, absolutely, yes. And actually, the next day around 1:00 in the afternoon Eastern, it kicks off for the next year. So they only shut it down for just a little bit just to get things in order, but they get the pages going, and you can start making your new page for the following year. So if it's something you thought of maybe doing, join this year. Get yourself on the system so that next year it gives you a reminder as of the first. Hey, the teams are available to start jumping in again, and we can continue this going.
Yeah, so whenever you hear this, even if it's, you listen to it and you say, oh man, I missed November 3rd, man, I'm such an idiot, that's fine. That's fine. You can still join the team. You can still contribute. And to be honest, I mean, November 3rd might not work for people. It's a Saturday. Some people work Saturdays. Some people, like me, have a family. And, I have about 4 basketball-related activities that weekend with my son and daughter doing practices all over the place. So, like, it's just not going to work for me. But what I could do is say, hey, you know what? Well, you did something similar to this, right? With your 100 days of gaming. I've seen you tweet about it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just pick a random day and say, hey, you know what? This is going to be Board Game Tuesday or Fortnite Friday or whatever, and just make it an Extra Life stream and have some fun and drum up some things for a worthy cause.
Yep. At this point, it's become such a big phenomenon that we pretty much have people playing every single day out of the year. There is an actual Extra Life stream that goes out every single night, and they have different streamers that jump on there and play just in support of Extra Life in general. But then you've got the streamers that do it themselves. They'll, like you said, pick a different weekend that works best for them. You figure you've got TwitchCon this week, and maybe next week they're just getting home and don't want to necessarily go 24 hours again after going probably 48 or so this past week.
Right.
So, but yeah, you have people jumping in for 24 hours. You got people jumping in for 12. You've got people that say, look, all I can do is 4 hours. The week before Christmas, I'm going to jump in on Wednesday and do a 4-hour stream or just a 4-hour game day and let people know about it on Facebook and Twitter. I can't even stream. None of that matters. What matters is getting out the awareness, saying that you're giving some of your time and that you are basically putting yourself out there to benefit the children's hospitals.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. And, you know, if you are listening to this in time and, you know, are just not quite sure about what it is or what it entails, get onto Mixer, get onto Twitch, go and watch some streams on Saturday. It is awesome. You know, all of the big publications do stuff. There's so many people in the gaming community that go out and do stuff. I like to watch Game Informers. Of course, I watch yours, Dave. You know, IGN does stuff. Like, everybody's got a stream, and they're super entertaining. They do wacky, silly things. A lot of auctions, prizes to be had for people who donate. So, you know, if you're just as a casual observer interested in being a part of it, this is an opportunity, because this weekend is going to be huge.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. And I know typically on my end, everybody's like, "Well, how many achievements are you going for? What are you doing?" Because typically what I do is I wake up, I post on Facebook, hey, my doors are open. Anybody that wants to stop by, friends, family in the local area, come on over, play games with us. We usually have about 5 TVs set up. We've got about 3 PCs. Everybody brings over tablets and board games and card games with them. And we just open up our house and have a full family and friends game day. The nice thing about that is that we can make it all that time because we've got a couple people in this hour. They're going to pop out in 2 or 3 hours. The next group's going to come in or whatever. So there's always someone here who just is starting to play and other people that are just kind of wearing down. That makes it that I'm able to stay up those full 25 hours.
For sure.
And then the other nice piece about that is that when those people are coming in and out, I can't necessarily focus and sit on the computer and stare at the stream and say, hey, this is what's going on next, this is what's going next. I'm more hosting here than I am necessarily online. So I've kind of got a little command center set up this year. I'm going to try to sit more in front of the machine and tell people what's going on. I've got a few extra cameras so that I can flip to camera 2, camera 3, show the other rooms in the house. So we're kind of stepping it up this year. It would have been a little bit more had we not had the flood issue that we had here, but we're getting past that, and I'm going to buckle down this week. That's all I'm doing. So,
Director Doughboyee.
Yeah. So typically I'm not the one that says I'm going to try to go for XYZ amount of achievements or something like that. I typically do that, like you said, during the 100 days of gaming. I pick certain nights that I would focus on one particular achievement or one group of achievements or specific game. And I'm going to do that throughout the year. I think that's going to be my thing from now on, just because I am getting more into the streaming and whatnot. So.
That sounds awesome. And we'll let you promote the hell out of that stream later. Do you have any games lined up that you're, like, oh, hey, yeah, I got a buddy who came in, he's like, hey, we got to play, Red Dead 2 between 4 and 5 or something. Do you have anything lined up so far? Or is it still kind of open season, however the wind may carry you?
Yeah, it's still pretty open. I think we are going to do a Rock Band couple hour in the middle somewhere, or towards the end of the evening once the kids start to die down, before they fall asleep. That way it's not too loud. But other than that, I know we had speedrunners for like 4 hours last year just because it was the first time we all played it, and we just kept playing and playing and playing and playing. That was a good one. So we typically look for those type of party games to get into. And I know somebody did pick up Mario Party and owns a Switch, so I think they might be bringing it with them. That might be ending up on the stream for a little bit too.
I played that this weekend with my son. He got that for his birthday, and they are just fun, silly mini games that. Of course, it's Mario Party. What do you say?
Right.
They're just great. They're absolutely great. Proulx, are you gonna watch any streams? Are you interested in following Extra Life at all? What do you do on Saturday?
Well, for us, it's not this Saturday. It's next Saturday. But for the listeners, it's this upcoming Saturday. It's a little confusing. Actually, speaking of Switch, I'm getting my Switch on that day.
Ho-ho!
So it'll that's the day that the Smash Brothers bundles are shipping. So it'll be I'm sure I'll check it out.
Wait, did you get a download code, or they send you the game later? How does that work?
Yeah, it's a download code, I believe.
And it just will go live on December 7th or whatever?
Right, correct, yeah. There are speculations and rumors that there's going to be some sort of a demo or like preview game type thing, possibly, maybe. But that's probably more hope than anything else than reality.
It's called Brawl.
Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy week but anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm sure I'll check it out. All this chatter and all the talk that all these different people in the community. I'm excited to watch it and see it and check it out. I'll be kind of lurking in all sorts of streams that weekend for sure. And helping out where I can. So I'm excited. It's always fun every year. It's a really cool and it's a really fantastic idea and organization. So I'm all on board.
Yeah, it gets me so excited just talking about it and just like, oh yeah, like, oh man, I can't wait. This is gonna be so fun. And it's such a call to action for me. Like, Fream, get off your ass and start helping out, contribute, do something. So I love, the energy it gives and the excitement around the community that it brings. So fantastic. Well, I can't wait for that to happen. Doughboy, you were talking about some games that you might be playing this weekend, or this upcoming week. What have you been playing this last week? Are you in the UHH?
I'm in the just for fun at this point. I didn't play the last couple weeks, which is I'm gonna blame the flood, not the fact that you just whooped my butt and I was a pudding for you that week.
Wait a minute.
Didn't I win like 4-1 or something, or 4-0 or something dumb?
It was 4-0. Yeah.
It was.
Even that night, I'm like, I should just jump on and shark him at the end there, but he's probably sitting up too, waiting to see if I do anything. But
oh gosh, no, I didn't care.
You totally set yourself up for that, Fream.
Yeah,
you bastard. All right.
So, how's it been going this week?
Well, this week I got my hands on Conan Exiles, just like everybody else did. Did go ahead and jump on and do that game. Was so good. It was just the graphics and the way things worked. And okay, seriously, you're gonna put the achievements basically right at the beginning, as long as you use just the what was it called, the dashboard
admin console.
Admin console. So I think most of us had done that. Did you guys also do that?
100% did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I watched Macca 91 Productions guide, and so his guide was just fantastic. Perfectly laid it out there. I just had to enlist Mattism from the community to help me out with the tower one where you collapse a dude with your weight at the very end. But man, it was wonderful. It was so much fun. Reminds me of Fallout PC. Only this was more interactive. This was way more fun than just typing unlock achievement 1.
Yeah, I messed with it a little bit afterwards just to see how the movement was, seeing what you would do, and it seems like it might be something to spend a little bit of time, but it didn't seem like something that I would probably spend a ton of time on. Just the way that it did perform.
Yeah. I would imagine like that game could, and if you're into those types of giant open world survival games or whatever, or as an admin, like, clearly us as achievement people were very interested in a different reason, but like having those controls and being able to set up things and do cool stuff, like, having that level of creativity would be super fun, if that was your forte. But for us, it was like, this is great. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to just unlock all the achievements right away. Yeah,
and the DLC they've added does look like it added to the game, and people have said that the updates along the way have improved it quite a bit, but they didn't add achievements with those, so it wasn't something that we necessarily had to focus on if that's what we were going for.
Right. Right. That's wonderful.
So other than that, I've been doing my Gems of War dailies, trying to get back into that because I wasn't a decent guild for that. And because I didn't perform for 2 weeks in a row, they kicked me out because I didn't know anybody in the guild. So I stopped getting all of the guild rewards and stuff, which is fair. I wasn't doing anything.
Sure.
So, but I did randomly just start looking for a guild. Yeah, exactly. I did it until I couldn't. So. But then I didn't try to jump in again. I did wait until I was finished up with all the home projects. And once I got done, I said, all right, I'm going to get back into it and search for a guild. I think 2 or 3 times, like you can go back in and refresh. And I did find one that was pretty full. And I figured, all right, there's a bunch of people there. And luckily, this is a guild that does perform as well. So the last week, they had all of the categories except for one completely filled, which is one of those achievements. You do need all of the categories for the guild weekly events to get completed. And I think we're only like 100,000 coins away. So it looks like at some point I'll finally unlock that achievement because I didn't have that with the previous guild. But they went ahead and added more items to it this week. They did another title update. Previously, you had to reach the rank of 500 and you would finally hit that top notch. They bumped it up to 1,000.
Yeah, gross.
Yes. So the game that will never end literally will now never end. We will be at this forever if we want to try to complete it. And I'm not going for I'm going for completion, but I'm not staring at it going, this is so ridiculous because my percentage is not that great anyway for TA, so I'm not worried about it.
Can you just throw money at that game to finish it, or no?
I think you can because you can. It's going to cost a lot though. Like,
is it like XP upgrades or boosts or whatever?
Well, you can buy coins to buy gems to buy certain things that you need inside of it. So you kind of have to do like a multi-step process in order to get what you need. I know like the one achievement that as soon as the title update came out for it, it said that it was 98% complete, and everyone says it's 98% complete. And then you go into it and realize how much work it's actually going to take to get there, and it's nowhere near 98% complete. So that one's mocking us every time you log into the dashboard. It says, you're close to this one. No, you're not. So, but for that one alone, you need, I think it's like 100,000 gems or something ridiculous. So you just need to keep playing and playing and playing and playing. And that's basically so that you can buy certain pieces to build a certain character in one of the new update pieces that they added. Sounds convoluted and confusing, like I'm saying, because they pretty much made it convoluted and confusing.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Other than that, I did start looking at the monthly gamertag challenge because I haven't done that in a while. I did pop on Infinity Runner, which I think both of you have played a little bit of.
I totally played that this week. I went into a huge blitz last night to finish up the gamertags, and that was one of the eyes.
Yep.
I am terrible at that game.
Oh, I am horrible at that game, but those achievements pop so quickly and so nicely because
right at the beginning.
It's just hitting a certain amount of points and stuff like that. Yeah,
I haven't even passed like the first. I totally forgot the tutorial, and so I just happened to be close enough to like there's that first combat tutorial at the beginning there. So like I just kept dying 10 times, and I beat him 10 times for that achievement. That was the next one, and I was like, I see the end of the hallway, and it's like take a left turn, okay. Hold the left over and then crash. Okay, that didn't do it. Left bumper. No, nope, it's not doing it. Trigger. It was a disaster.
Yep. So yeah, I think I'm about the same way. Is that I have to. I started to get it down, but it's one of those endless runners that if you're gonna put it down, you're gonna come back to it. Like you said, you have to remember which way you started and how you go this way and that way and jump and duck and. It would be fun, but it's just not something that I'm necessarily into.
Nope. I do like those eyes, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and then other than that, the only thing I did try was I picked up Refunked, another one that probably most of us have done. I only have one achievement left, and that's the speed one. Trying to beat it within 3 minutes?
Yeah.
So I have hit. I've gotten closer and closer. I played it 4 times this afternoon and got closer and closer, but I did not hit the goal yet. So I should be able to do that this weekend.
I think it took me 7 or 8 times to
get
close. It. But it's weird how like you do it your first time and you're like 7 minutes. What the hell? And then like number 2 is like, oh, 6:20. Okay, but that's still, and then all of a sudden it's like 4 minutes. You're like, oh, okay, I can see where I can do this, and you just keep getting closer and closer, and then like I think I actually completed it by a decent margin. I mean, like a 252 or something. Like it's
it's
a play with.
It's a super awesome developed achievement. Like you feel so satisfied when you get it, and every single time you get closer and closer and closer and closer. So I loved that game just because of that achievement. It really forced you to go back to it and really hone your skill on it. It was good.
Absolutely. Proulx, what have you been up to? Anything fun?
Oodles. Not really oodles. Hey, Fream, do you remember last week we talked about World 2 Hunting Boss?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I started it and then completed it.
Oh, okay.
Just because we talked about it and I had it, and it was like, oh yeah, I had that game because it was like $2 once, and
yes,
apparently it was. You told me it was a mobile game at some point.
That is true.
And
it's quite easy.
It is quite easy, so I did it.
Yeah, I've been just chipping away at it.
Oh no, I rushed right through it. I was done in an afternoon, but it was actually, it was a halfway decent game. It was
fine.
Not bad.
Yeah, it was fine. I kind of like those big boss things. They're all right.
I mean, the game is broken because so for the first like 5 levels, you play a solo character, and then all of a sudden you're given 2 other characters.
Right.
So now instead of attacking this one giant boss by yourself, you have 3 characters. 2 of them are controlled by the AI that are attacking this giant boss. Like you can actually, if you just run, especially if you start on the earlier levels, if you just start the run, they'll just go kill the boss and you'll get experience for it. It's the easiest grinding in the history of grinding. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. That's
but
awesome.
It's not a long game. So that was fine. It wasn't the only easy game I played this week. I played the new Ratalika. We talked about these people before. Midnight Deluxe.
Okay.
It's okay.
Are they like? Why are they so just punching out titles left and right now? Are they just? Were they holding all these indies back, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, I know we can get to Xbox now," and they just and just barfed them all over us, or like how? Like I feel like they're coming out. They're like a hamster.
So I vaguely remember seeing somebody mention something in Discord about this, about how they said Midnight Deluxe was going to be the last of their $4 games that are super easy completions. Now, again, that was just me vaguely remembering it. I don't remember who said it or where they got the idea from, but it may be the case that this is towards the end of that dump of really easy achievement games.
Well, and maybe it was like because what Artifex Mundi did back in the day when they had all those PC ports or PC games, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we can port these over to Xbox, and so like Artifex Mundi was coming out with a new game like every 2 weeks. Until they were through their backlog.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. All the phone ports.
Right. So Midnight Deluxe is like a launching platformer, like kind of like an Angry Birds, but you're just trying to get to the end of the level. You're not trying to knock anything over, destroy anything. You spawn, you have to angle yourself in such a way to get towards the exit, and then get closer and closer and closer.
It sounds like fine. Golf.
Kinda, I guess technically, but if you saw the game, you'd know what type of game it was. I'm failing to find the words right now, but it was easy enough. A quick game, inoffensive. 2 or 3 tough. I should say not tough, but parts that I got stuck on for a few tries. But
I thought you said you were done doing quick and easy games because the G task is over. You were going to focus on some real stuff.
Which I am, by the way, because I was doing like 3 or 4 quick and easy games a week before.
Yeah.
But now I'm doing like 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I want to maintain that sort of quick pace. I want
Except Midnight Deluxe, 2 Worlds Hunting Boss, and Conan Exiles. That's just 1?
Well, Conan Exiles was actually technically 2 weeks ago because we talked about it last week.
Liar.
World 2 Hunting Boss was based on the recommendation of a dear friend, and Midnight Deluxe was really the only quick and dirty one I did this week.
Okay.
I did also, and also World 2, not Midnight Deluxe, World 2, and the next game I'm going to talk about, Wheel of Fortune, are games in my backlog, games that are just sitting on my hard drive that I'm trying to clear off.
Yeah.
So I played Wheel of Fortune. and it's Wheel of Fortune. There's really not much to say.
Is that a 1 or a BC game?
That's a Xbox One game, yep.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
It came in the bundle that includes Trivial Pursuit, I believe Risk, as well as Jeopardy, if memory serves correctly. And that's the only one I've done so far, but it was fine. It was Wheel of Fortune, so not really much to say there. But about 6-7 hours, get it done, and that's it. 2 other things I want to talk about. I played some Halo, some Master Chief Collection.
Okay.
And
do you have a point in that, or are you just kind of milling around getting random achievements?
I mean, I want to get it done.
Well, I understand that, but like when you say you're playing it, were you just like, oh, okay, hey, it's Halo 4 time, or you're just like, I'll just pick a couple and do these?
Yeah, no, I guess I would be milling about by that definition. Like the other day, I just got the itch to play it, and I wanted to finish the skulls. I didn't have all the skulls yet.
Gotcha.
So I want to tell you real quick about this achievement in Halo 2, which is one of my, if not my all-time favorite game. And there's an achievement for getting a certain skull in one of the early levels of Halo 2 that seems to be completely random. It has like 10 solutions with, a trillion comments each.
Yeah.
Basically, a lot of people are under the impression that there's a 1 in 7 chance of the skull actually spawning in the level.
Hey, Bungie likes their sevens.
They certainly do. And so it's the I would have been your
daddy. Sounds like
tinfoil
hat stuff to me.
Kind of, but it's true. It doesn't spawn all the time. I mean, I worked on this achievement for, I'd say 3 or 4 hours. But there were people in the comments on TA saying that they worked on this achievement for, 30 hours.
Oh, gross.
Which
that sounds
could
like
be
me
rough.
and that stupid assassination one.
Do you still not have that?
I still don't have that. I hate that
Monument to All Your Sins from Halo Reach. Yeah.
Hate it. That's my white whale.
You can do it, Fream. It's not that bad.
I could devote an entire day of Extra Life streaming to getting that stupid achievement.
That achievement is much, much less random, much easier than this achievement that I'm talking about. It's the I would have been your daddy skull in Halo 2, and so there is all of this misinformation on the internet about, you have to hit 7 checkpoints in this order, and you have to do this thing and kill that person, and it doesn't seem to be the case that any of that's necessary. Like there's one checkpoint you have to hit in order to trigger the chance for this thing to spawn. Once I kind of sorted through all of this is going to take 7 minutes per run, and then you have to restart the whole thing. All of that stuff could be cut away. And you can get to a point where you can literally do a run in about 30 seconds. Once I got to that point, it was about 4 or 5 runs until I got it. So it wasn't that bad. The problem was most of what everybody put up as a solution is not an actual solution. And that was tough to get to. So
it's just subterfuge.
Yeah, that is what it is. That's exactly what it is. So yeah, that was the struggle of the week. And lastly, but not leastly, just for the past couple of hours, since it's the first chance I had, I've been playing some Red Dead 2.
What?
Are
you kidding me?
Yeah. I haven't gotten too far.
Where'd that come from, Moneybags?
from the store that I went to.
Man. Playing a new game. That's blasphemous for this crowd.
I know. I even picked it up on disc. So take that, all you people. I actually had a moment of indecision when I was in Best Buy. Should I buy the regular edition or should I buy the collector's edition? From what I could tell, the only difference is that the collector's edition map that comes with the disc is a cloth map as opposed to a paper map.
Okay.
And you get one extra bonus mission.
Are they both in those obscene red sleeved cases that
No.
stand out like a sore thumb on your mantle?
No, at least the standard edition is just the regular green sleeve. So
okay,
you're fine.
Yeah, the ultimate edition is the steel box.
Gotcha.
Oh, so yeah, that's the third edition. Which
Yes.
It does. So obviously that has a physical edition, but I didn't see it there when I was there.
Hey, did you see my joke in Discord about Red Dead?
Go ahead and tell me.
It's about the horses that you can only catch the 150 horses.
I did see that.
But you gotta trade with someone who has Blue Dead Redemption.
Yes, I thought that was a great joke. That was pretty good. Was that your original joke, or did you find
no?
Okay, yeah.
I do what everybody does: steal it from the internet.
No, of course that's fair. I'm not blaming you. Yeah. So I'm about an hour and a half into the game. I won't go too far into it because there's not really much for me to talk about because I'm not that far in. But I will say it is as pretty as people are giving it praise for. Like really, just stunningly beautiful. Not surprising. Plays very, 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 very similarly to GTA 5. Like, really, which is not surprising. They've been working on this engine for 10 years now. Obviously, some improvements. Time will tell, but it's, right. I mean, it has that Rockstar polish, man. I mean, it has that amazing attention to detail that they have. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic game. So I'm looking forward to playing it. But
that sounds like fun. That sounds super cool. Way better than any of the garbage I've been playing. Yeah,
let's hear about it.
So let's see. We talked about Artifex Mundi a little bit. I went on an Artifex Mundi kick because
on purpose.
So they have a game series called Nightmares from the Deep, right? And of course, the gamer tag Minpin happens to have 2 N's, and I'm a little light on games that start with N. And those Artifex Mundi games are just great for just kind of slow playing them. And so I just got the next one in Nightmares from the Deep 2, but I went ahead and so I had 2 achievements remaining in Nightmares from the Deep 1, and that was to finish the bonus chapter and do the Mahjong in 1 minute. Okay, and so I went and did the bonus chapter, and I was playing Mahjong the whole time. And there was one of the guides in TA said that you can trick the system if you do a hidden object puzzle, and then when you click the last item, you can quickly hit down on the Mahjong thing, but it has to be super quick, and it'll open the scroll and then immediately close it because you've found all the items. There's no gold tiles left, so there's nothing to do. And that if you do that within the minute, that it could unlock. That I'm pretty sure is total flim-flam. There's no way that's true because I did it multiple times, and it's total garbage. So I did it the old-fashioned way, and I played through the beginning of that game probably 5 times just to get that stupid 1-minute Mahjong achievement out of the way. But I am done. I finished it. It's off the table, and now I can quote-unquote focus on Nightmares from the Deep 2. Yeah, I'm just going to slow play that one, too.
Now, wasn't this... When did you start that game? I remember you mentioning doing the 1-minute Mahjong. Is that in other versions of their games, or...?
I mean, they do very similar things, but that was part of my random to-do list back in September or April, or August, I mean. And I tried so hard to do it, and that's probably when I last spoke about it.
Gotcha.
And I got so frustrated that I quit. But I got it this time. So screw you, Artifex Mundi. I did it. The rest of my gamertag Blitz. So this was last night, and I went nuts. I went total ham on it, and I stayed up way too late. I should not have done this, but I did Recore, Nightmares from the Deep 2, Infinity Runner, little Reagan Gorbachev, Adventures of Pip, and then of course Nightmares from the Deep 1, and so that pretty much got everything. And I had 1 letter left to do. And so I sat down, I was like, okay, it is the end of October. It is time to, I need to figure out what I'm doing for Fream Hole's Completions Challenge 2018 edition. And because I initially was going to do Manuel Samuel for my dollar bill, y'all, and then was told, no, they indeed have euros in that game. They're not dollar bills. And so that was a big old poop sandwich. And so I had to go ahead and audible. And I've decided a game that I can complete that has money is the game Paladin. Are you guys familiar with this game?
Yes.
I think I have it done.
Okay. So it is a twin-stick shooter, kind of a little bit of a bullet hell thing. It's pretty darn short, okay? And the achievements are simply, they're beating levels. There's 40 of them, and they go quick, like within a minute or 2. 40 levels, and then collecting money. So I was just playing on easy, and I had 4 achievements left. I had to beat the boss at level 35, boss in level 40, collect 25 grand, and collect 35 grand. It's like, all right, that's not big. I'll just do that. Let's go. So I went and played, and I beat the boss, and got, the boss drops a little gem, and that put me over the $25,000 threshold. And it's like, great, okay. So now I just need $35,000. So I guess if I just replay this, I can get more money. Nope, doesn't work like that. I go, okay, well, that's messed up. What does the guide say? Well, the guide says that if you play up until easy and then beat the boss or get to the boss, the final boss in stage 40, you can switch the difficulty to normal, which he would drop a bigger gem, a bigger coin, and then that should put you over the threshold. That, I think, is flim-flam. There's no way that's true, because the boss drops nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I think I did that. I'm pretty sure I did that.
So I don't know if they changed it in an update, because these are all kind of old achievement guides. But like, I'm looking at some of the wording, and it's like people from July are saying that this worked, but it took them like 7 tries or something to just keep up at this. And like, oh yeah, no, it didn't happen right away, but I had to get real close. And then like sometimes the gem pops before you even kill the boss or something. And it's like, what the hell is going on? I can't figure it out. I'm so stumped. And so I switched to normal. And so what I played through. You can have different ship variants. And so I played through the first one and didn't get it there. So I was like, oh, okay, I can see it's cumulative as you go. So, hey, what if I play through again and kind of maybe jack up the difficulty a little bit, or at some points get a little bit more money, be a little bit smarter instead of running into guys and letting the mine do it so I can collect money. So instead of, 27,000, I got up to 30,000. And okay, I could do better. Got up to 32,000. Okay. So now I'm on like a normal run, and I'm hitting like 32.8. I can't get past that threshold. I think it's I don't know. I'm going to try again tonight, and I'm going to probably stay up too late, and I'm going to get real frustrated about it.
I believe in you, Fream. I think you can do it.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. Another game that kept me up all week or all night was on my random to-do list. Also happens to start with the letter A, and of course, what are the most predominant A games that we have? ACA, Neo Geo.
Ugh.
And this one is Art of Fighting 2. I hate Neo Geo fighting games, turns out. They're all
We all do.
crap.
We all do, Freeman.
They're the freaking worst. And so Art of Fighting 2, I needed the caravan mode, okay, which is the you get that's the one life question mark.
Yes, well, both caravan mode and high score mode, you only get 1 life.
Which one's the time?
That's
that's high score, right?
I think that's high score. Yeah.
I think that's high score. So caravan mode, 1 life, and you got to go through. And I am real bad at this game, but so the guide on this one actually helped out, and they said use Mr. Big, and he's got this little tonfa thing that he can hit the ground and make this little flame. But if you when you're using the analog stick, just spin it in circles and rhythmically tap the kick button, that he'll just keep throwing out these fireballs, and this clown of a bad guy, Mickey, just walks right into it every time. And so you can sometimes get perfects. I'm not quite as proficient with it, but you can get perfects on that. But then you got to take out this badass ninja who is just a monster. And so I finally figured out how to beat him. And then have to fight this just big, fat-looking Meatloaf biker guy. He looks like Meatloaf, like the singer Meatloaf. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, not like the actual food.
No, I mean kind of like the food too, but no, Meatloaf the singer when he was super fat, like Bob, like from Fight Club. Bob, his name was Robert Paulson. That guy. I hate these games. I hate them so much.
Aren't they terrible?
They're just the worst.
They're awful.
I finally got it. It took me forever, but I finally got it. I decided to do some hardcore mode or the high score mode because I'm like, oh, I got this move down. I should just try. No, not happening. Not happening. I don't know when I'm going back to this because this thing is a monster. We talked about Conan Exiles already, and I mentioned it in the past weeks. I've been playing a lot of bingo. Thank you so much, community, for heeding the call. Man, the gifts are just flooding in.
It's awesome, isn't it? I didn't even know they were there before, and all of a sudden, every day I log in, and there's 4 gifts. I'm like, hey, okay,
piles
cool.
and piles of toys.
Yep.
I'm up to like level 26 now or whatever. And I think I can get 9 boards going on my computer. That my limit is 6 boards. I can manage 6 boards. If I have my mouse, I'm at my desktop at work, I can manage 8 boards. But so I've been auto-dabbing 3 of them while I do. But it's just it's a disaster. I am like filled with anxiety trying to manage that many boards. But it's like, I need, like, the XP just comes flying when you have that many boards going.
It just feels like the game is unnecessarily long, like it's not even in the same ballpark as any of the other
and
Microsoft games.
I don't know if you have spent any time in the chat at all. Because like
I didn't even know there was a chat.
Yeah, when it loads, it defaults to the chat. Like I usually look at the ball board, which shows you which numbers have been picked, but it defaults to the chat. And like, there's people who are like, "Hi, Susie from Venezuela," or greetings from Thailand, and it's like, who the hell are you people? It's like I want to type in there like, "Hey, nobody click bingo until like we all fill our boards." Like, what's wrong with you?
I've definitely tried to type that before.
Nothing didn't help.
Nothing. No, because like you said, most people are looking at the bingo numbers, so they're not going to see that.
Just ridiculous. Just absolutely silly. Last 2 games I want to talk about. My gamertag challenge. Also, I needed another eye, so I played Iron Cryptical. I don't know if you guys have played this game at all. I love these types of games. This is a twin stick shooter essentially, but you're a knight that goes down into a dungeon, and it's a top down view, and it's a single room, and all these bad guys appear, and you just run around throwing your axe around, killing these bad guys and dodging, kind of similar to like a Binding of Isaac type, except instead of isometric, it's top down. And then you kind of go through this map and fight. And so I was just going to get 1 achievement for the gamertag challenge. Ended up getting like 10. I couldn't help myself. They come very quick. They're pretty easy to get through. It's a hard completion, but there's a lot of achievements in Gamerscore that come out nice and early. So if you're interested in that, there's some good points to be had there. Then the final game I want to talk about, Dark Arcana: The Carnival. Yeah, another Artifex Mundi game. This one was on my RTDL. I had 3 achievements left, and one of the RTDL ones was finishing all of the Monaco games. Of course, I needed to do half of the Monaco games, and then what the hell was the third completion or the third achievement? Something random. But I just needed 1 more playthrough, and so quick did that one, and that actually does fit into my Fream and Proulx completions challenge that has a stupid 1-point achievement in it. So that counts for the 1-pointer. And so now I'm down to the last. So I need to finish Paladin. I need to finish Sonic the Fighters, which is pointless. So that'll be no problem. Max the Curse of Brotherhood is on my list. And then the final one, some Star Wars game, which I think is going to be Force Unleashed 1. I don't know. It's whatever. I got 2 months, and I got to start it. I got to get going on it, because otherwise I will absolutely fail. It will be a disaster.
You can do it.
The reason I got to spend all this time on other stuff that's not UHH is because my UHH list was total hot garbage. It was stupid. So I this week I decided to kind of update my games collection, and so I was like, I like to export my games collection from TA and then manage them on a different spreadsheet, because if you're working on spreadsheets at work, it looks like work instead of poking around TA. And I'd like to make notes and stuff like, hey, here's my progress on these, like, or this is what I need to do next in this game. And so I kind of do stuff like that. So I said, okay, well, I got to clear out the old Games Pass games and then put in the new ones, whatever that is. So I clicked the button that said I resubscribed to Game Pass, and then I exported my list and got that going. And then I see my email on Saturday morning. Hey, you got a new list. Oh boy, baby, this is great. I'm excited. What do I got? Wait, what? I don't own any of these games. How did I get 20 games I don't own? Like, there's got to be a mistake. Like, this has got to be somebody else's gamer tag. And I clicked on a few. Oh, they're all 20 Games Pass games that I've never started. an entire list of 20 games I have never played nor have any interest in playing. Like, I don't want any of these games. And it was because I clicked that stupid subscription button that said I own these games now. So I don't know, like, if I unsubscribe from it, that they'll come off. But if I get another garbage list this week, I am going to be furious. Because, like, this sucks. I don't want to, like, I should take a look at my list right now. It's stupid.
Yeah, you can't, I don't think you can at any point remove games from your collection for the contest. I believe that's the case. So anything that you ever have on there during the contest is going to remain on there until the end of the contest.
Sonic CD, Devil May Cry 4, Mega Man 9, Garu,
Mega Man
Mark
9,
of the Wolves, Alien Hominid, Elder Scrolls Tamriel Unlimited, F1 2015, Mega Man 10, King of Fighters 98, like the golf club, not Saints Row 4 Re-Elected, the Australian version. Like, what the hell is this? I don't want to play any of those games.
I know Fream is complaining, but it is important for us to point out that the first 18, 19 of his achievements are under 1.8 ratios.
They're all dives.
His number one achievement is a 1.00 ratio. He could easily get the required 3 to beat his opponent. Freem, I'm just saying no excuses. That's all I'm saying.
Did your opponent have a very high gamer score? So the only ones you matched up on were Game Pass games?
Nope.
They probably also checked the Games Pass games.
Which is exactly what I think happened.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be. This gentleman, he's done. He is now playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I think that's the end of it for him. So, if I wanted to, dive 3 games, I could easily beat him. I am not interested in that. I'm going to go down 2-0, and I'm going to just cross my fingers and hope that my unsubscribing from Games Pass doesn't, that I can get these things out of the pool. Otherwise, I'm going to uncheck the Just for Fun, and maybe I can join back in. I don't know. I'll have to talk to Rich or something, but this is stupid. I am, like, not happy about it.
I think
I
we
really
should
look
yell at the
forward
people
to
who
it.
came up with this contest.
Yeah, we've got to know somebody in the contest
clowns.
team, that we could just yell at.
Maybe it's a blessing in disguise, and I can focus on my completions challenge and my RTDL and my new one that's coming up next week for November. Or I can focus. This is the other thing that's been taking up a lot of my time, or will be taking up my time tonight, is, of course, Halloween is next week, and I have 2 Halloween parties as of recording this upcoming weekend. So it would be tomorrow as of recording, and my son decided tonight that he was going to tell me, hey, I need some accessories for my Inkling Splatoon costume. So if you could go ahead and make me like a backpack with a canister filled with paint, like that'd be great. So that, Pinterest has got tons of stuff on there. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what the hell, man? I'm not handy. I'm not craftsy. And I sure as hell am not going to do this at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. My wife's like, all right, well, you got till 3 o'clock tomorrow. So, good luck. We'll see what you come up with. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I am not looking forward to dressing up myself. I've got 2 parties to go to, and it's like, ugh. In Minnesota, it's stupid because it is so cold that everyone just has to wear winter coats on top of whatever costume they have anyway. So, is it warm where you're at? Like, Peru, does it stay pretty mild for Halloween? You gotta wear, like, hoodies and stuff, though, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Dave, you're a little further north. Is it all right there, too?
Yeah, pretty much hoodies is what we go out in, yeah.
Yeah, we had, I remember when I first moved here, or near when I first moved here, 91 was the blizzard, and we got like 14 inches of snow. I made out like a bandit that night because I was like 12, I think, 10 or 12 in that range. And like everyone closed up shop so early that I was like, we were running from house to house with pillowcases. And it was like, there's nobody out here, and they would just dump their bowls of candy into my pillowcase. I ended up with like 20 pounds of candy that night. It was like, this is glorious, greatest day of all. And of course, then they canceled school the next day because there was so much. So I was in a sugar coma, laying with discarded wrappers all over my body, passed out into a coma on in my candy fort that I made. It was glorious. Absolutely glorious. Hey, we should talk about some news. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
Some doings going on in the world. Just a couple of things I want to hit on. I don't want to get too deep into this because A, I don't know that much about it, and B, I don't really care that much about it, but some people do. And I think it's important to, because I don't like the trajectory that EA is taking here. But Jade Raymond, she is leaving EA Studios, where she was working on she's leaving EA Motive, and she was working on the Star Wars title. It hasn't been announced what it was, but it was one of those. It's the one that Amy Hennig was started, and then she left, and so we lose two very prominent members of EA that are working on Star Wars titles, and Amy obviously there's the issues with Visceral, and then they closed that studio down and shifted all her work over here and said, yeah, remember that story-based Star Wars game you were working on? Yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. We want more loot box-based games, but we need to hide the loot boxes. So if you can just figure out a way to do that, and she's like, yeah, I'm not interested. I don't like. I can't imagine that Disney is very happy of how EA is handling their Star Wars franchise in terms of video games.
To be fair, Disney's not very happy with how Disney's handling Star Wars right now. So I don't envy anybody in that position. It's kind of a scramble literally all the way across the company after the past couple of underwhelming performing movies. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm still bitter about Star Wars 1313, and I think I will be for a very long time.
It's I just don't get it. I can't imagine that working under these types of conditions is conducive to making good quality games, and the expectations are so darn high that it's I claim that it is impossible to meet. No matter what you do, people are going to be disappointed in your game. It could be one of the greatest games ever, and people will still be upset because it's a Star Wars license, because of, the amount of time and resources that, in theory, they have to use at their disposal to make these. But I bet the real story is they don't have that much in terms of resources. They just have all these eyes looking at them, and boy, it's not easy to work when you have people just breathing down your neck, staring over your shoulder all the time. I can't imagine that this is a fun place to work.
Do you remember when LucasArts was one of the best developers in the world?
Yes,
we've come a long way since then. So, who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, you guys like Games Pass? We had a show about it. I still haven't quit yet.
I did actually cancel my subscription last week.
Did you?
So, yep.
Good for you. Good for you. Way to take a stand. Dave, are you a Games Pass member?
Yes, I actually won a year of Games Pass from Extra Life last year. So,
what?
I've got that until February of next year.
That's a solid win right there.
Yeah, that was
great.
off of the Microsoft did their Mixer stream for 24 hours, and they were handing out random stuff, and I won that and a copy of Minecraft at that point. So, yep.
Which Minecraft?
One that I already had, so it was one of my
it
was one of my free code Fridays at one point.
It must have been the Xbox One edition, right? Because
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the unified one, whatever.
Yeah,
Better
right. The newer one, the newer version. Yeah.
All right. Well, so if you could ever think of ways that you would improve the service, well, here's your chance. There is actually a user voice forum where people are saying, "Hey, listen, are you a Games Pass member or somebody interested in gaming? Well, Team Xbox is looking for your ideas on how best to improve Xbox Games Pass." I'm reading it in my marketing voice because I'm actually reading the site here, and it's very much comes off like that. Hey, with Games Pass, get unlimited access to over 100 Gate games. They're great games, not Gate games. New exclusives for one low monthly price. But here's the thing. it's this giant like Reddit type forum where you can just post and say, hey, this is what I want in Games Pass. And to be honest, there's some good ideas in here. And you know, I don't have anything that I'm voting on, but like I like the idea. Like, where's one here that was? This one shows up all the time. Can you bundle Games with Gold and Games Pass? Like, why do I have to pay separate for my Xbox Live Gold and Games Pass at the same time? Could you just come together with, you know, some type of whatever?
You know, I had that criticism pretty early on, but it feels so redundant, like completely unnecessary. I don't know who it would benefit. I can't imagine that there are very many people that have Game Pass that don't have Xbox Live.
Right.
I think it's more for the monthly renew. There's a lot of people that do it month to month as opposed to getting the annual.
I think that's true too. I think the one time, you know, the annual payment for your Xbox Live Gold is just like, oh yeah, hey, I should keep that going. I use that a lot, so let's just let that go. But your month to month with Games Pass, I feel, is more of a conscious decision. Like, is there enough in there this month that I want to continue to participate? And that I can understand why they're separate. It would be nice if they gave you an opportunity to, you know, even if it was I mean, I could see an upcharge for, because there is an upcharge if you buy, you know, short-term gold, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're paying a little bit more.
Yeah. So I could see, and maybe they just offset it with, you know, if they bundle it that way and just say, okay, you know, you're still paying a little bit more if you're on a monthly system, you know, service, but not necessarily, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, I guess. It's just like, as an enticement, it wouldn't be worth it. Like, so I just canceled my Game Pass. And what does it come out to a month? Like,
what, $10?
It's $10, right? Yeah, $10.
Yeah.
So unless you gave me like a crazy steep discount, like $7 a month, like it's too much of a steep discount that it would be worth it for me, but it won't be worth it for Microsoft to do it. I guess maybe the month-to-month thing is maybe the right way to look at it, because I haven't existed in that world for so long. Like, I've been such a yearly subscriber to Xbox Live that maybe the month-to-month thing makes a lot more sense. But I thought of that too, and maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll roll it in, or maybe they'll raise the price of Xbox Live at some point and just make it a bundle and make it that whole part of the service. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
One of the things on here that I really like, and I think is a great idea, is indication for games removed from the Games Pass catalog. So, for instance, if you have downloaded these games and they're on your hard drive and you don't own the license to it and they've been removed, that there would be some type of, like, it'd be grayed out or it'd be flagged or some way of saying, like, hey, by the way, this is on your system, but you can't play it right now without subscribing to Games Pass or without purchasing extra content or whatever. Just at least having an indication, like, yeah, this isn't going to work with this account right now. Now, granted, I have different problems because I, you know, have so many friends that come over and have bring their gamer tags over that I don't know who bought what. But you know, that would be nice for different reasons. But this, I think that's a great idea.
Well, not only that too. I would say earlier notification of titles leaving and entering.
That's funny, because there's one here that says highlighting new and outgoing Games Pass titles, so that you'd say, "Hey, these games are leaving. Maybe you should play them right now."
Yeah,
you know,
like at least 30 days at the very that's the bare minimum that they could do.
I mean, that would be great. I'm fine. I feel like they give you 2 weeks or 10 days.
Yeah, but that's not enough. I don't think.
Yeah.
If you're trying to complete, I'm trying to think of the most recent long game. I don't know, one of the Forzas, I'm sure, are longer than 2 weeks of gameplay. That's still not fair. And that's still not, that's not even enough to complete the main campaign for a regular average gamer. So, and it's not like Microsoft is unaware 2 weeks out that these titles are going to be removed. They know. Why can't they tell the users? So that would be one of my big pet peeves, I think.
Yeah. Here's one. Sort games by number of Xbox Live friends who own or play each game. That'd be kind of cool. You know, you look at it and you say, hey, you got 6 buddies who play this game. Did that do anything for you? I don't know. I could see that if you were interested in maybe giving something going. Anyway, this forum's kind of cool. You got some decent ideas in here. I don't know what Microsoft's going to do with any of this information. Here's one. Allow me to create a list of titles to play when they are available in Games Pass. Kind of a wish list. Like, hey, could you bring this game into Games Pass? I would like to play it. And maybe give them some idea about who to court. Maybe. Does that do anything for anybody? I don't think they would bite on that one, but kind of cool stuff in here. I like the idea. At least it gets people talking. What are some ones that don't have any votes? Allow users to track quests. 4 people. Not a lot of traction on that one. Sorry, buddy. Anyway, let's talk about Tryon Worlds. It is another big studio that is facing layoffs, they've cut a bunch of jobs. This is the studio that makes the game Rift, Trove, Defiance, Archeage. How do you pronounce that? Did I get it right? I don't even know. It said they've cut about 150 jobs once the GameEgo, this German free-to-play company, bought them. So Tryon Worlds said, hey, there's been a transaction involving Tryon Worlds and its games that will result in layoffs. While many of the names and faces you come to know in our studio will remain through this transition, others will not be making the journey. To those that are leaving us, we are forever grateful for all your work and contributions over the years. So Tryon Worlds had about 200 people in California and Texas, and apparently only 25 people are staying. So, yikes. I don't know what GameEgo is going to do with all that stuff. There's a bunch of issues in, like, some of the games getting delisted or pushed back or release dates and stuff. There's a bunch of, a bunch of questions about, like, what the hell's happening with all these titles, these IPs. So you kind of have to see what's happening there. This is a GameSpot article, and they kind of put all this information together. Obviously the story was about the acquisition here and all the layoffs in Tryon, but they threw this paragraph at the end that says that Tryon is just the latest video game studio to suffer serious layoffs. In September alone, more than 500 people lost their jobs due to closure or significant staffing reductions at the following company: Carbine, Capcom Vancouver, Telltale, Big Fish Games, and now Tryon, with 175 people, puts it over 600 video game industry jobs lost. That's crazy. What the hell's happening?
And that's only in the past 2 months, too.
That's 2 months.
Yeah.
Man, that is ridiculous. What? There's so many games out there. How are these,
well, that's the problem.
They're just mismanaging money? Are they not?
That's the problem. There's just too much competition. It's when you can have those tiny development studios coming out with the hits that these medium to big companies can't really adjust to. It's too much.
So is that the idea then? Is like, hey, we can shrink all this stuff down and make, good, just get these guys on that Conan Exiles wheel and just whip them till they make, that we get 10 people and they make a game for us with much less overhead. Is that the idea?
I don't know what the idea is. I don't know where we settle when all this is said and done. But it's clear that it's unsustainable how it is right now.
So what? But it's weird to think about how. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Where you've got your, your Rockstars, your Activisions, your EAs, like these just Ubisoft. They have just so many freaking people working for them, and then you've got like a handful of studios that are mid-range, and then a bunch of tiny studios. Like, there's no middle ground anymore. It's
I don't want to get too political, but yeah, it does seem that the middle I guess you'd call them the middle tier of developers, has been shrinking for a long time. And you have these, the single person, 2 people, small team developers who can kind of do what they do and push out their games at a reasonable pace with a reasonable amount of return that are doing okay. And then you have the giant publishers. The middle swath of the middle class, if you will, of developers is kind of, it's struggling for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the only way, like CD Projekt Red, I think, would classify in terms of size as a mid-tier developer.
Yeah.
But because they put so much work and effort into, like, they're making AAA games with a small staff, and I can't imagine that that's easy. And those people, I assure you, are working their. I mean, I'm sure everybody's working their butts off, but like, that is a group of talent that I don't see elsewhere in the industry. And maybe I just don't know. Maybe there's just so many of these collaborative studios that, I think Undead Labs, now that they're, before they were bought by Microsoft, was up around 100, 150 people. I mean, that's kind of mid-size. That there's probably a lot of these support studios that might be around 100 to 200 people. And, but they do the multiplayer for this game, or they support this studio, or, they've got a division that contracts out web design or something. I don't know. Maybe all these, you don't hear about them because they don't, you get to hear about the big guys because they come out like clockwork, and they're public. So everything they do is out there. And then you've got the tiny ones, which are just awesome stories because it's like, holy crap, 2 people made this game. Or, this was a labor of love for one person. It's amazing. And so maybe they just make more noise than just like we're 100, 150 people, and we just do our job, and our games are good, and we make enough to just keep going. Am I getting close? Do you think that that's probably more accurate? Or I'm trying to even in my head run through the list of studios I can think that would qualify for this tier that we're kind of dancing around here. But it seems, I mean, I agree. I don't think the large publisher or the large scale game developers can sustain themselves in this type of environment, given, unless you have a game like Red Dead Redemption 2, which, is going to sell obscene amounts of copies. I'm very curious about what NPD is going to say, or how much, is this going to be GTA 5 level? I don't know if it'll be that high. I mean, Twitter is, granted, the game launched today as of recording, and Twitter is freaking out about it, and everybody else moved their games as far away from today as possible. I'm curious what the impact of that's going to be. And, we got blackout mode in Call of Duty, super popular. People are loving that mode. Maybe not so much the rest of the multiplayer as much, but, that has kind of reinvigorated the Call of Duty scene. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, people are really happy about that. So, but they can't do as many exciting things. They can't be as risky because they gotta make that paycheck. And at some point, I have to imagine that well is going to dry up. Like, people are just going to get sick of it.
Well, Fream, speaking of the Battle Royale mode, I think we needed to talk about a little bit about Fortnite as well today, right?
Let's do it. Are you playing?
No.
Are you joining? Are you joining a Fortnite team?
Oh no. No, not me.
What? Oh, okay. Well, here's the thing. We got some esports action here, and listen. It's not Fortnite. It's this dude's a Call of Duty guy.
Well, hang on.
Okay.
We do need to talk about Fortnite, though, right?
Let me hear it.
I think Doughboyee should tell us about Fortnite.
Sure, no problem. Fortnite Save the World. You guys know what that is?
That's the
familiar at all?
single player, right?
Yes, the single player that was promised to come first in 2018 to Xbox One before any other console when we were really tight with them and stuff. So they still stood by that statement about 2 months ago, but just this past week they released a statement that said, "We're working on a broad set of features, reworks, and back-end system scaling, and we believe are needed to go to free play." So scaling with this many people would probably not be best. So they are going to go ahead and delay it until sometime next year.
Oh dear.
They didn't give an exact date or when, but don't worry. This week they're putting 50% off on every system that has it available. So you can get in there now and start playing that now. Question for you guys. I didn't jump into Fortnite right away.
Nope.
Tried it, last time I was on, actually, I said I kind of tried it around that time. Fream, you had tried it right around that time as well. Being an achievement hunter or a collector, or we've got this kind of sickness where we kind of like to have everything. The one thing that held me back was, okay, I haven't played season 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're on 6 now, right?
Yep.
Of the Battle Royale mode. There's certain costumes or dances or spray paint, or you can not get those anymore because you didn't get in on the beginning.
Yeah.
Same thing with Overwatch. There was, a time where you would be able to get certain skins or certain achievements that were unlockable. Those are monthly or seasonal, I should say. But there's certain pieces that you can't get anymore. For some reason, my brain clicks and says, nope, don't want to get into that because I can't get everything now. Has that ever happened to you guys on any game like that that you can think of?
So it's actually a really interesting point because I've been playing a lot of Rocket League recently. And I am so, I don't care one iota about all of this cosmetic stuff that comes out literally every few months. Like right now they have you get candy corn when you play Rocket League right now because it's Halloween time, right?
I gotta go turn on my Rocket League real quick. I'll be right back.
I haven't changed my Rocket League car since 3 months into starting Rocket League. But so all of that stuff just whizzes past me. When I boot up the game, I'm just getting into it. I'm like, I don't even care. I don't care about these. I just want to get into the game and play it. And I think, to be fair, I think that's probably what most developers and most gamers want. That feeling is what you'd want to experience. The one thing I just wanted to say real quick is I'm going to make a bold prediction here, and I'm going to say that the Save the World mode for Fortnite is more vaporware than Crackdown 3. I will bet money that we would see Crackdown 3 well before we get the completed version of the Save the World stuff, just because I think Epic is going to spend all of their resources and is obviously clearly working on the multiplayer stuff and across all these platforms that they're doing and stuff. So it's so funny to hear them be like, oh, yeah, that's something we were supposed to be doing. Kevin, have you been working on that? We talked about, nobody's actually working on it. So I don't know. That's interesting.
So listen, anything right now that has the Fortnite name on it is going to be gangbusters. And I don't think that's even possible that Save the World is not going to be received poorly. It's just not what the kids who are playing Fortnite right now want. And so, I think they're trying to figure out a way to either disconnect or rebrand or think of a way to separate and diminish expectations about what this Save the World part is, because what Fortnite is now and has become is its own entity, and having this single player piece to it is not, from what I understand, what kids want. It's just not in their wheelhouse. And so to me it's kind of like a holy crap, what the hell are we going to do with this? When this comes out, I don't think it's going to hurt the brand per se, it'd be so detrimental where there's gonna be riots in the game and people are gonna be freaking out what the hell is this garbage. But I think they have to envision their servers are going to get hit real hard when they first launch this, like, live, like, for reals. And, I think people will probably be interested in checking it out. And so there's a very good chance that because of how many people play, it's going to be a big, buggy, laggy, disastrous server mess. And that they're just kind of hedging their bets and saying, all right, we need to fix this so that we can handle that traffic. We need to fix this so that the moment-to-moment gameplay is really exciting. Maybe come up with a system to integrate that if you play the Save the World mode, that you can influence what happens in the other mode or vice versa. That I don't know. I don't know what they're going to end up doing, but I think what ended up happening with Save the World mode, because it's so dramatically has shifted, given the public perception. I get it. I understand why they might be trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with this thing, because this thing is crazy. They just announced that they partnered with Nerf to make a Fortnite gun that looks like an AK-47. Halloween costumes are all over the place. If you go into like Target or Walmart or whatever, and like there's Fortnite costumes everywhere. Everyone's flossing. Like,
so you can be that burger dude, the burger,
the burger headed guy.
Burger head guy.
I saw the stupid pink bunny rabbit. I saw I'm sure
people are dressing up as piñatas, all that sort of stuff.
It's crazy. It's just crazy. So I'm going to go to my kid's school on Wednesday for Halloween, and they do a character parade. And I am very curious how many of the 4th and 5th graders are going to be dressed up as Fortnite characters. I bet it's going to be crazy. Long gone are the days of firemen and astronauts and whatnot. It's
Fream, careful.
It's Inklings and
careful, Fream. You're sounding very close to old man Fream right now. Just be careful.
What was your best costume when you were a kid?
Oh, God.
What was your favorite costume that you went trick-or-treating as? Do you remember? Dave, do you have one?
Trying to think.
I was a badass shark once. That was probably, my mom made this awesome. She sewed together this awesome shark. That was pretty cool. My head was inside of its mouth. I liked that one. When I was growing up, I would never wear masks, and I would never put face paint on. Like, that was my rule. Like, I hated face paint. I said absolutely not. And then just with mask, it was too much of a pain. So I was like, nope, I'm just not wearing those. So yeah, I think the shark one was probably my favorite. But I think I was 9 when I had that one.
I think I was Donatello once.
Yeah. Did you have a weapon? Of course you had a weapon.
Yeah, the bow. Yeah, of course.
Just checking. I mean, because my
it's a stick.
Yeah, my son can't bring his platoon gun to school. He's not allowed, which is fair. I don't want kids with fake guns all over the place. But Dave, you got to give me a costume, man.
I can't remember any. Honestly, I'm trying to think now. This is pretty bad. I had a good childhood, I promise.
Fine, I'll let you off the hook. I'll get you at the end of the show.
All right.
That's not the only.
Real quick, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just real quick on the Fortnite thing. I pulled up the store description. Have you guys actually seen the Save the World? Anybody streaming or anything like that?
I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, I've watched it.
Yeah, so it's basically a horde mode that you're doing with your friends, up to 4 people in your party to keep your save the world, keep your area safe from the monsters that are coming in and whatnot. The description on the for sale founders packs says this is an early access PvE campaign with microtransactions. Early access means Save the World has bugs and extreme balance issues. It will become free to play at some later point. So the one thing with it is that this is the only place that you can get free V-Bucks. So I do think that once they do make it free, if they keep that in there, it will be very popular. And I think that's why they're holding it off, is because they know they're going to get bombarded with people trying to get the free V-Bucks and piñatas and things like that. So that's probably why they're not ready for the amount of people that are going to at least try it to get some free items.
Now remember, this was the game as originally developed and originally considered. This was Fortnite. Fortnite Battle Royale mode was supposed to just be a tacked on multiplayer that aped what PUBG was getting so good at the time and getting all this popularity. It's such an amazing. I would love to watch a documentary on this process and on this past 2 years that's happened. That Epic was really, working on this save the world mode, and they literally have just diverted 100% of their resources into battle royale mode, and obviously it's paying off for them. Kudos to them. Not saying they saw which way the wind was blowing and they turned sails and they went with it, man, and good for them, obviously. But it's really interesting to see. I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever see this. I really don't feel like they're gonna. Yeah, I could be totally wrong, but it just feels like something that, what's the point at this point? It's not going to help sales.
Right.
It's not even going to do it is going to dilute the brand technically, because there's nothing else like I mean, there's lots of things like Fortnite, but there's nothing else in terms of you're going to cannibalize your own sort of community at that point. Yeah. And so we'll see what happens. And now that they're facing their, like you mentioned earlier, Freem, the Call of Duty mode seems to be doing fairly well so far. It's very new right now, but so we don't really know. But now that this is the stiffest competition that they've faced so far. So who knows? This is a AAA unlimited budget development studio that's coming out and doing good so far. So it could be rough roads ahead. So I doubt that they're going to pull a whole bunch of resources off of Battle Royale and put them onto this untested, uncompleted single player mode that nobody really cares about.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Totally agree. That's not the only esports news that we need to talk about. Apparently, things are getting real exciting in the world of esports. Let's start with Nike, the shoe company. Yes, they have signed their first esports athlete. He now has a Nike deal. It is none other than the Chinese League of Legends player Jian Xiao. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is teaming up with LeBron James so his nickname is Uzi in the game, and so they're coming out with a brand of clothing, I guess. Very interesting that Nike is now on board with this. I was just listening to kind of the fallout from the International and how obscene that tournament was and how much money goes into that. I don't know. There's not quite as much money in League of Legends, but hey, you know what? This guy, Uzi, is now on board. He has a deal with Nike. That's great. Now that's of course not to be outdone. Drake, the singer, he's like, you know what? I need to get in on this, and so he has now founded this. He's a co-owner. I think it's called 100 Thieves. They are a lifestyle apparels and esports company between Drake, this Matt Nadeshot Haig, and Cleveland Cavaliers chairman Dan Gilbert. So Drake and Braun, who the hell? Oh, Scooter Braun.
Scooter Braun.
The entertainment guy. They're advisors for this, and I mean, so just helping. So in Drake jumping on Twitch and streaming and all this stuff, that's just not good enough for him. He's got to get in the action, and I'm very curious about what type of publicity he's going to try and bring into esports. If there's anything he can do with his notoriety to help bridge the gap between mainstream and esports. Maybe there is already a connection, and I'm just so out of touch with how in tune people are with their esports. But I don't know. I don't see, if it's not on my main TV. I can't imagine it's immensely popular. Although my brother is in Vegas this weekend for his annual Buck Hunter tournament. So when this podcast is finally released, you'll be able to look and see how he did over this last weekend. I'll be watching him on Twitch a little bit and curious about how he's gonna go. So I mean, there's the Buck Hunter esports scene. I'm plugged into in some regards. What do you guys think? Are you going to be trying out for any esports teams in the near future? Is that Proulx, when the show ends, what are you going to do? You gotta get on your esports game.
No. I'll probably play some more Red Dead, but I will be honest with you. I've been paying attention to my mind and life and focus has been so on Smash lately. Not that I'm that good, or that but if I were to be competitive at a game, I think that's what I would pick.
I like it. Doughboy, do you have a budding esports career? I mean, there's money there apparently.
Are they bringing back like a Dr. Mario League or something like that we can?
Now you're talking.
Get some puzzle action going.
Maybe
Dr. Mario's in Smash.
A little dig dug action. It is cool to see that it is growing. There's more people interested. Yeah, it might be stuff that you're gonna find on ESPN the Ocho, but still, it's a far cry from where things were. I heard. And I'm trying to remember who told me this, but it was, I think it was at the gym, and they were talking about what when you ask kids, hey, what are you going to be when you grow up? And again, so I when I talked about Halloween costumes, firemen and astronauts and whatnot, apparently in a survey done this year, the number one thing kids want to be when they grow up is a YouTube star. That is the number one job right now. That's kind of sad. I don't know if it's gonna make me sound like some sort of grumpy old grouch.
It
fine,
does,
but we're probably doomed. We're probably doomed as society.
No, that doesn't make you sound like a grumpy old grouch at all.
Just saying. Like if everyone just wants to sit in front of their computer and just play around on YouTube,
or get achievements, or whatever the hell.
Can't imagine how we're gonna get anything done.
Oh, boy.
Just saying.
All right, Fream, we need to cut this. Let's get out of here before we get in trouble.
All right, I got one more thing that we got to talk about, and usually I don't like to feed the trolls, but there's actually a decent question here, and I think it's not that we're gonna sway this individual's mind, but he posted on our YouTube feed. And said that, hey, you play all these games no one's ever heard about, just get achievement points, and then you complain about them on your podcast. Why don't you play games that are quality? Like, you played a game that was awful for 6 hours just to get achievement points, so you spend 6 hours of your precious life playing a game that sucks instead of a good game where the achievements might be harder to reach. Okay. So, my approach to that is, typically, there are some games we know are going to be terrible. Yes. But from my standpoint, I don't like to play terrible games if they're going to take a long time. I'll play a terrible game if they're going to be short, because the reward isn't playing the game. The reward is getting the points. It's not even necessarily the difficulty in getting the points. It's not necessarily the satisfaction in completing. The fact that they're coming is what triggers that moment in your brain that gets you excited. It could be any number of points. The other thing is in games that we don't know if they're any good. I mean, Proulx, you do a review segment. You don't have any idea if those games are any good going into them. So you have to approach it with an open mind and say, I'll be willing to give this thing the benefit of the doubt. Let's see. And yeah, maybe you end up playing 6 hours. I don't really care for this. I was happy with what I got, but I'm not going to continue. That is a completely viable way to play games. We don't have to go and say, Witcher is one of the most amazing games ever made. Cyberpunk 2077, I better buy that day one and play it right away. But we'll let like you and Red Dead. That's going to be an amazing game. It's going to be fantastic. And you're playing it right now. I'm sure you're enjoying it. Yeah. That will be there. That will absolutely be there. But I have found so many other games that I gave an opportunity and was so happy that I gave it that opportunity because they ended up being some of my favorite games of all time. the positive reviews on Dead Cells are out there. Dead Cells is in my top games of all time. And I didn't necessarily buy that for achievements, but that's a smaller game that I don't think is, granted it's getting a lot of critical reception now, but Fez back in the day. Fez is also in my top games of all time. I love that game. There's a lot of people who didn't care for it. They thought it was too hard. They thought it was, they didn't care for the mechanics. It just wasn't a thing of theirs. That's fine. You play whatever the hell games you want. But I think the idea that, we have to play whatever, this individual classifies as a quality game. Of course, that's a subjective take, but even if you play games that are globally considered not great, we're not playing it for the gameplay. We're playing it for a meta game that provides us a different level of excitement. It's completely different. Like, I was thinking of an analogy, and the best analogy I think I can come up with is, if I said, "Hey, Proulx, could you get me a Diet Coke? Because that's my favorite. I want a Diet Coke." And you're like, "Well, I've got Diet Pepsi." I'm like, okay, crap. Now I'm left with a decision. Okay, I don't like Diet Pepsi. I think it tastes terrible. But I really want to drink a Diet Pepsi. I want to play this video game. So I'm willing to give it a shot. All right. And then I start drinking it. Oh my God, it's flat. Are you kidding me? So not only is it a beverage I don't like, but it's also a flat beverage, and it's terrible. Okay, now I'm faced with another decision. Do I want to drink this whole can? Because I don't want to be wasteful. So should I just drink this whole can, or should I just say, no, this is too much, I'm going to pour it out, I'm done, I'm throwing it away? That's kind of where you're at with these games. You make decisions constantly based on the feedback that it's giving you, and sometimes you stick with it, sometimes you throw it away and toss it out, and sometimes you don't even bother, and you say, yeah, I really wanted a Diet Coke, I'm not going to grab a Pepsi. You guys have any thoughts on that comment? Dave, you echo my sentiments. Do you have a different take? What's your stance?
Whatever you said, Fream. Whatever you said.
You like it? Perfect.
You're feeding the troll. No, honestly, people do things for their. What's the way I want to say this? You play games, specifically Xbox games, because you want to get achievements. That's what you find joy in as far as the game is concerned. There are games that, like you said, you'll go outside of. Dead Cells wasn't necessarily the easiest achievement list, but you really enjoyed it. You've had a lot of fun with it. It's not going to be the quickest thing. So there are those games out there. It has to do between the amount of time that you're going to have to play, the amount of money that you have to spend per week, per month, per year on games. Sometimes those cheaper games are the short ones, but it's not that you're not going to enjoy it, but the fact that you can, quote unquote, complete it as an achievement stands, it makes you feel good. So there's no reason to say you're doing it wrong. Why are you playing games? You shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing something else. It's everybody's going to have that argument about something. There's something that you think is ridiculous. The people playing esports apparently, and so this is just what this person thinks. It's to each their own, obviously, and whatever makes you happy, as long as you're not harming someone else, then go for it, is the way to live life. But it's just we also enjoy it because we are a community. We do it together. We call up each other. Hey, can you help me grab this achievement? You're helping someone else do it. So there's a lot of other reasons that we would go for a specific game or something like that. We're not sitting alone by ourselves in the basement, talking in a microphone on a podcast. Oh my God, that is me.
Oh my God.
So, but once again, it's something I enjoy. It's something I'm doing right now. It's not a waste of time. It's to each their own, and you're not going to please everybody.
Yeah. What you got, Proulx?
Yeah, it's just what a weird thing to. I mean, I'm so sick of this argument. First of all. But second of all, what a weird thing to complain about while you're listening to an achievement podcast. Like, if you don't understand the basic reasons, like not even like deep level or like how far are some people. It's not like he's arguing like, oh, you're double boxing or you have a turbo controller. He's like saying, why bother going for achievements? Why are you listening to the show? Like, not to say that not everybody's welcome to listen. Of course you are, but you're not going to get any sort of enjoyment out of it if you don't understand the base level of what the meta is, about why, like you guys were talking about, why different people have different motivations for playing games. And that's why every single time this question comes up, and every single different format from every different person that's ever posed this question, I don't understand it. It's just, like you were just mentioning, Dave, people play games for different reasons.
Right.
And there are a multitude, a ridiculous amount of different things that will influence what they play, why they play, how long they play, what they pay for. And none of them, they're all intensely personal. They're all just based on your circumstances and what your motivations are. It's like, why even have that discussion? It's entirely pointless. It's totally fruitless. It's not like I need to change your mind to play games like me. I just want to tell you how I play games, and I want to know how you play games.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, it should never be like a questioning, like you are playing games wrong, you dummy. You don't play them like me. That doesn't make any sense, especially for a community of people who are supposedly like-minded.
Yeah,
where we're actually all kind of have the same nebulous goal. But there are even in our small community, there are splinters upon splinters upon splinters of different goals. Like maybe you're a completionist, or maybe you want to get all those tough games, or all the games that have their servers shut down, or like whatever. There's like 18,000 different ways to play games. It feels so weird to get hung up on the one way that you want to play the games, and then projecting that on the people that you interact with.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say in his defense, and if I'm hearing him correctly, is that you have an option to listen to a type of whatever podcast you want, and some there was a podcast I listened to that was immensely positive, and they were all sunshines and rainbows all day. So much so that it was like, I can't listen to this. Like they have no critical eye. They're not being, they're not being balanced. Everything is the greatest thing that Microsoft has ever done. It's like, this is garbage to me because I don't share their view. On the flip side, I've listened to podcasts that are, Microsoft is so stupid and how can they be so dumb and negative. I don't want to hear that either. That's just not my style. And so I'm not going to listen to that. So if he's thinking, all right, well, this is an achievement podcast, I want to hear about people earning achievements, yet you spend a lot of time talking about games you don't like, okay, well, that's not great podcasting. That's fine, but it is an experience we had, and we're relaying an experience to our listeners. And as a listener, you can say, thank you for that information. It's a game that I'm going to avoid because of hearing you talk about it. I'm not interested in those achievements, and I don't have to play that game. Great. Then we provided a service. Or you could say, you just wasted my time. I wasn't going to play that game anyway because it sounded terrible, or I knew it was terrible. And so now I feel like you wasted my time. That's fine too. That is a completely reasonable reaction to what, this form of entertainment. It happens. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, like you said, people play games for different reasons. I have a friend that literally plays one game on every time I turn on Steam. I see they're playing the same exact game over and over again. You've got friends that only play Madden, only play Call of Duty, and that's their one game for the year, and that's absolutely fine. They're finding joy in that. As far as the podcast is concerned, why did you play it for 6 hours to get the achievements? You're relaying the fact that, okay, this took me 6 hours. So if you're looking to get something that's less than 8 hours, there are people in our community that will play anything that's under that. So they want to know that. But on the flip side, you're saying, yeah, I really didn't enjoy it that much. You're giving your input. So I don't know that it's bad reporting on our part. It seems more like you are being more open about it and saying, yes, I enjoyed it or not. And like you said, we do reviews. And when we're not doing reviews, we're kind of giving our opinion on those specific things. So
Yep. That's exactly how it goes. I had one other thing I wanted to say, but I totally forgot what it is. So that means I'm too tired and we should wrap up the show. So I want to give Dave you an opportunity to promote your Extra Life feed, the Extra Life Community Coalition. The what are we? The gaming podcast.
Game Podcast Communities United. I didn't want to make a Game Podcast United so that people in the community didn't think they were invited, that it was just for the podcast hosts or something. It's for anybody in the community that would like to join. Pretty much just head over to extra-life.org. Right there is the main page. You can go into the upper right-hand corner and search for a team and just type podcast for the team, and you'll see we're, I think, only one of 3 that actually have that in their name.
Perfect.
So you can get on there, see who is doing it this year. If you don't think you're going to do it, maybe click on somebody on the team and donate to them. Or just pop by. Mine specifically is extra-life.org/participant /Doughboyee. DOUGHBOYEE. Pretty
Where's
much
all the X's?
That's only for Fortnite. So pretty much, like you said, this weekend, if you're listening to this live or just a few days after, you will be able to go onto Twitch or Mixer or any one of the many different ways to watch video and see somebody playing for Extra Life. Over on Twitch.com, they do have the it's Twitch.tv. I'm sorry, Twitch.tv. On their main page, they will have Extra Life going at all times. If you happen to be playing for Extra Life that weekend and put hashtag Extra Life in your title, they're going to grab random people and throw them on the front page. So there's always a chance that you'll get up on the front page for a little bit of Twitch. You'll see a bunch of different people. Some people just sit on that channel and just watch all the different people that come in and out, and whether they donate or just say keep going or whatever.
That'd be
anything
exciting.
helps. Yeah. So I had a couple friends get on there last year, so we'll see what happens.
Cool.
But it's 25 hour event this year, so if you see me on there or you see anyone else on there, if you can't donate, absolutely, we've got our spending limits for the year or for the month or whatever we're looking to do. Just jump in the chat. Say, hey, keep going. You're doing a good job. Comment on something that the person's doing. Just keep them going, because it's gaming and it's fun, but 25 hours is a long time. So.
That is a long time. That's a long time to do anything.
Yep.
Yeah, that can take a lot out of you. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Dave, for being a part of the show. Thanks for taking some time with us. I want to thank everyone who took some time and listened. I hope we didn't waste your time. But hey, you know what? There's only a few episodes left, so see it through to the end. We really appreciate it. And if you don't, that's fine too. Whatever. Thanks again. You can catch our website, z2z.com, ZEDTOZED. That's where, you got information about this show. You can also get us on Twitter at Z2Z, and contact at Z2Z.com is our email address. So thanks, everyone in the community, everyone who listened. Proulx, anything special you want to touch on before we wrap this bad boy up?
No. I'll be playing Red Dead for probably most of this week, so that's it.
Delightful. That'll be super fun, and I'm really hoping my UHH list tomorrow does not suck. That's gonna be stupid. But hey, end of the month here. I got some action I want to get done. So here we go. It's only 2 months left for Fream and Proulx Completions Challenge 2018. That'll be fun. That'll be super fun. Thanks again to everybody. So on behalf of Proulx and Dave, I have been Brandon, and to all of you achievement hunters and gamerscore junkies out there, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next episode.